everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another week of Inktober 2018. For my week 2, I spent another week using my iPad, my app Procreate, and the Apple Pencil to do some digital art. I'd actually planned to do like 50-50, but I never really got a chance because the digital art that I did just took me so long to do. I don't know why. It was one of those weeks where it's just like I just kept nitpicking and adding details, and it took forever to finish anything. So today's video, I'm going to have 2 speed paints in here, both from Procreate, and they're actually super long. I was really surprised because normally when you record something with Procreate, it's already kind of sped up, and I'll put it on my computer and then put it into a video editor, and I'll slow it way down to make a YouTube video, because otherwise the video would be way too fast and there'd be nothing I can really say for the voiceover. But this time is the first time ever that I've actually had one clip 100% and the second clip is actually sped up. Like, that's how long it took me to do the second drawing. There were so many details that just kept going, and it took forever to do this drawing, but I really hope that you'll enjoy them. I feel like I put a lot into them and I think they're pretty good, so hopefully you will like them. So I'm really curious how your Inktober week 2 went. Definitely let me know in the comments. Are you still drawing if you draw? And if you are you happy with how things are going? Or did you miss a few days? Have you given up? And if you're just following along, then hopefully you're enjoying all the art out there. But yeah, so I ended up doing digital speed paints again. I'm hoping to get some ink work done by the end of the month. But again, like I said in the last video, I'm not going to be too worried about anything really when it comes to Inktober. I'm going to try to keep it really, relaxed. And if I feel like doing digital speed paints, I'll do digital speed paints. If I feel like doing ink work, I'll do ink work. If I feel like skipping a day, I'll skip a day. I'm just trying to be more chill about it this week, month, thing, year, whatever it is. Because it's been really stressful. I feel like it's just been way too stressful. So the first drawing that I did for this week was a vampire girl. It's actually something that I started right after the last vampire girl, and I'd already done a vampire girl, but I don't know, I just felt like doing another one. I just started as a casual drawing. I wasn't even sure if I was going to finish it. It was one of those kind of feels, but I did kind of like it, so I kept going with it, and I had a lot of fun doing the face. But it wasn't quite right. There was something a bit off about it. So it was one of those drawings that I picked up and put down quite a few times for over quite a few days. And after a while, I kind of started to think of an idea to make the drawing kind of work. Like, I like it, but what is it? So I thought maybe it'd be cool to do a drawing with like that traditional Dracula pose where Dracula has the hand over the face with the cape in the front. So that's what I kind of tried to incorporate. It was a little bit tough at first to figure out how to get it to look like that without changing the face, because I liked the face and I didn't want to edit it. Yeah, I don't always have planning when it comes to artwork, but that's just how things are. Sometimes spontaneous artwork can end up looking really interesting though. But yeah, in the end it kind of came together and I was really happy with it. When it came to adding the color, I was super tempted to add red. But I had just done black, white, and red for the other vampire girl, so I thought I'd better pick a different color, and I ended up going with purple, which is my favorite color, so I was really happy with that choice, and I think it looked really good at the end. My favorite part of this drawing was probably her eyes. I took a really long time to blend those eyes. I did the same thing I did in my last 2 speed paints from Procreate, which was a whole lot of smudge tool. So the smudge tool is really helpful, but it can also be annoying because it can smudge a little too much, and then the pattern doesn't look very smooth. It can be really annoying. But I just kept working at it, and I'm really happy with how the gradient around her eyes look. I think it looks really nice, and really cute smoky eye. So for the second drawing, I just was in the mood to do another monster girl. I wanted to do a cute monster girl of some sort, and I thought, hey, I haven't done like a one-eyed girl or a three-eyed girl yet, so I ended up going with a three-eyed girl. I wanted to push the emotion a bit more with this character. I kept playing around with the idea. At first I just drew a random, normal type of face, and then I was like, maybe I should put a bit of emotion in, so I played around with it, and adjusted it, but even at the end I wish I had kind of pushed the emotion a little bit more. And this drawing is going to take a really long time because I just got really into the details. For the first drawing, I feel like I spent quite a few days doing that one, but off and on. But for the second drawing, I spent quite a few days completing this one, but all day long for each day. It was just crazy how much work it ended up being. For the second drawing, I also tried something different. I always sketch with the HB pencil brush, and then for the other drawings that I've done recently, I switched to like the studio pen for inking. And this one, I decided to do something different. I wasn't as excited about using the studio pen. I don't fully like it. So I decided to use the narrator pencil. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm not even sure what that is. Like, what is a narrator pencil? But it worked pretty good. Like, I of course would love to like ink with like maybe an HB pencil, but since I did the sketching with that, it's not going to be very easy to ink with it as well. So inking with the narrator pencil was kind of like a nice in between. It held its shape a little bit more than the studio pen. Of course, the studio pen has a lot of pressure, which can be kind of annoying for me, honestly. And also it had that nice kind of pencil-y texture. So I really enjoyed that. I think I'll definitely try that again for the next drawing. I also had a lot of fun with this drawing in putting little keychains underneath her phone. Since she's looking at her phone, I kind of want it to be playful, add some cute little keychains coming off it. I had a lot of fun with just thinking up ideas for what she might have hanging off her phone. So I ended up giving her like a cute little eyeball keychain since she has 3 eyes, so I thought she might like that. And I also put a little eye drop kind of thing. It's like, I thought maybe that would be kind of cute because she has 3 eyes, so maybe she would need eye drops. And I might be projecting a little bit because I've been using eye drops like crazy recently with all this looking at my iPad like for hours and hours and hours. It's super crazy how long these speed paints take, but I think I've learned a lot about digital art recently. But before I go into that, I just quickly want to ask you guys, what do you think that this character is actually looking at on her phone that she's so interested in? I'd be really curious what everybody else comes up with. I haven't really had an idea, but it'd be really interesting to hear what everybody else could think of. But yeah, so I've learned a lot, especially this week with using Procreate and digital art in general. Things that like I've observed and also have been a challenge for me. I haven't really fixed it or found a solution yet, but it's just interesting observations, interesting things that came up this week. And I think that's the interesting thing about Inktober for me, especially this year. I'm really challenging myself this year. I'm really pushing myself. Other years, I've just been worried about making drawings every day. Maybe the challenge was completing a drawing. Other years, the challenge was trying to make a video with the drawing or follow a prompt list. But this year, I'm just kind of really challenging myself with this digital art thing and trying to make it work for me. Because you all know I'm pretty clueless when it comes to digital art, so really challenging myself to get into it and explore it a lot more has been really helpful. And for some reason, it's actually been holding my attention too, which has been really nice. It's just been a weird kind of month. But I have noticed some things that are kind of annoying about digital art. I mean, there's definitely positives, like being able to move things around, change sizes of an arm or a leg so that it matched nicer. But one of the bad sides of that is that I've noticed that I'm starting to have a problem where I'm not quite sure when the artwork is done. And I've heard many people talk about this. I've seen people make videos about it, but I've never really been able to relate because when it comes to traditional art, I've never really had that problem. I've always just kind of instinctually known when it's finished. It's finished when that's the best it can get. It's finished when I'm done with it. I walk away. There's nothing else to do. But when it comes to digital art, you can always change something. You just use a liquify tool or use the selection tool and change the size or whatever. I don't know the terms for things. But yeah, so that's super tempting. It's super tempting to keep going. It's super tempting to notice a flaw and go back in and fix it. And I feel like especially recently, I've had to kind of tell myself, nope, you see the flaw, but maybe it's better to leave a flaw in and walk away. But it's really hard, especially with this second drawing, the 3-eyed girl. I definitely saw a few things that I kind of wanted to fix, but I just told myself, you know what, it's fine. Just leave it. Just walk away. Another reason why was because I had like 15 layers and I have no idea how to flatten them all so I could actually fix anything. That would be a pain. So I was like, no, this is too complicated. We're done. Another challenge that I faced this week, especially with digital art in general, but especially using my iPad and the app Procreate and the Apple Pencil. I wish there was an easier way to say those three things together. But I definitely see myself getting lost in the details a lot. I zoom in and I can create all these great lines that are really smooth and perfect looking, and I can put in all these tiny little details, but when you zoom back out, they're not as noticeable. So it's almost like, wow, you just spent a lot of time on something that barely anybody can see. It's good and bad. It's good because it looks even more detailed from far away, but it's also bad because you're spending a lot of time on something that isn't really super noticeable. And I especially noticed that being a problem when it came to coloring, especially shading. I would zoom in and I would get the shading to look really good. I would smooth it out and have the highlights pop. And when I zoom back out, there was like no impact. You barely see what I just did. And I spent like an hour on it. It's like crazy. Definitely something that is a bit of a challenge for me. Because of that, towards the end of the drawing, I wish that I had, added more dramatic shading and gone a bit, deeper with the contrast. But that was another thing where I had to be like, learn from it and walk away. There was a few places where I had to completely erase all of the shading and redo it because zoomed in, it looked really good and really detailed, and zoomed out, it looked crowded and bad. So yeah, definitely something that I've learned this week, but I think it's all good things to learn, and it's something that you don't really have a problem with when you are using traditional art compared to digital, because you're always zoomed out in traditional art, I guess you could say. So yeah, I definitely feel like I've learned a lot this week, and I've had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed drawing these two drawings, and I definitely want to push it even further for the next week. I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I'm not sure if it'll be digital art or traditional art, but I've been really enjoying myself, even just doing 1 or 2 drawings a week. So yeah, again, let me know how your Inktober is going. Leave me a comment down below. And if you like these drawings, then also do leave me a comment to let me know. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. You can also support me on Patreon for just $1 a month. You can gain access to all of my posts, including my studio vlogs, which I post just for my patrons. And yeah, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!